I think Santa will go kind of well tonight.
Wait, what do you?
If you think Santa will go well, kind of well tonight. No, that's not good. Yep.
And he's like trying to ask me my thoughts real quick. You know what's crazy? I'm surprised. He has senators who are collaborators, but I didn't know this until I should talk to him on Friday.
I thought that would be tough to you because
He never did.
and I found that out when you were sitting on Friday. I was like,
Yeah, no, he never did.
I found out Friday too, so.
Yeah. So. Thankfully, he doesn't want to expect you. Because I was one of the conditions.
I wanted to go to committee just to look over and have like I feel like you need a maybe some other money there too.
I'll ask me to work, but he support it. I told me they were
Exactly. So why is it only 450? Why don't you just start anything going with the
yeah, that's why I'm like, we have to. Yeah. Hey, so. We're talking. Oh, y'all could go now? Was it a first? Was this one? Y'all could go now? Or no? I'm holding. One. Yeah, when Randall Lewin, no, I got that deal. Yeah. Got a good one. Okay. Good for you.
Good, how are you? Good.
As much anybody can be in during November.
That is true. I have a total of 5 papers before they.
5
Yep.
papers?
What are we trying? And 3 of them are due right before Thanksgiving break. So literally
What?
Thursday, Friday, Sunday.
1 for each class?
Yep. One fun part will be the liberal arts majors. I have to write a lot.
How many pages, like, on average? Do you think?
The one I'm doing now is really just 4 pages with citations also 1 page. So it's really about 4 pages.
Okay, it's not terrible.
I think 3 papers.
Okay, that's not terrible.
Not the worst.
I remember the longest one was 40 pages. That was a business proposal. That's so bad.
Is it past 8 o'clock?
I
Never said that.
Where?
I knew you had that.
And I think
Man, it's gonna be a late night.
Let's not get there yet.
As soon as you ASCSU guys, founding fathers, I guess.
Founding father.
I was just saying that as him, but. Now I'm curious to find one.
if,
No,
Obviously, we're not gonna win over everybody, but it's like one of those things where
I actually think that's like.
How are you doing? Welcome back. Oh, sure. See you again.
yeah. Same with
Me.
We'll have
You good, Kyle?
Where did Jackson go?
I don't give people, I don't get how. I've heard about this.
Oh, why, then why do you? Okay.
And it also- Doing very good.
I'll just grab most of the
Hey, Jackson.
Hey,
How you doing?
doing good.
Good, good.
But I know you will for them. Just for them to-
Hey, you guys are on mute. I don't know if you know that.
Quorum. Thank you.
Sorry, we're going through reading the agenda right now.
Just for any clarification, the agenda was not approved by legislative cabinet, the magistrate, so it was voted, needs to be approved unanimously by the magistrate, and there were 2 noes, so therefore we'll be reading it in full and can approve it as a Senate body.
Old business, A, resolution 5106, dedication to access. Announcements, fight song, ending roll call, adjournment.
Okay, with that, I'm gonna open 30 minutes of discussion and debate on this agenda, including, and I'll open the floor to anybody who wants to make any amendments on the agenda, starting with the first placard. The chair recognizes Chair Welch for 5 minutes.
So I'm pretty sure we won't be doing elections manager tonight, so do we want to remove that?
Does the author wish, or does wish to make the motion to remove that?
Yes, motion to remove elections manager from the agenda.
Okay, a motion's been made to remove elections matter from the agenda. Is it seconded? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. Parliamentarian, please strike that. Thank you. All right, you yield? Does the chair yield? Chair Welch, you yield.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I yield.
Okay. Open, is there any other member who wishes to speak? We're still in discussion debate on the agenda. Cedric Araceli? 5 minutes.
I don't know if we can motion this, but to make Bill 5105 plaque bill to be addressed for the next Senate session. And I motion to do that.
You may motion to do that.
I motion to address Bill 5105 plaque bill for the next Senate session.
Motion has been made to move. I'm gonna open.
Just they can.
Okay, is that a second to that?
Second.
All right, all in favor, please put your placards out high. Okay.
One for on Zoom.
13. Okay. All opposed, please raise your placards.
Need your microphone. Okay.
Sorry, keep your placards high if you motion to remove it. Or sorry, if you want to keep it, please keep your placards high. Senator Torre, do you wish to move Bill 5105 placard bill from the floor put next week, or do you wish to address it today? Okay, please put your placard high if you wish to.
I have none. I have what's on Zoom. Or I have one, sorry.
No, okay, all abstaining. Okay. The yeas is 13 to remove this and address it next week. And the nays to address it today is also 13, no abstentions. Therefore, a tie-breaking vote is necessary. The chair will vote to address it today. The quorum,
Point of information.
yes, what information?
It's your bill, correct?
That is correct, but the Speaker of the Senate must be the tiebreaker on this. A chair must be a tiebreaker. That's pursuant to the Constitution.
Okay,
Yeah.
point of order. I can't speak, so I'm not speaking a lot, but yeah, I don't think that Kyle should be making that since he is an author. I think it should go to someone else.
I second that.
Parliamentarian Hunter,
Okay. And we counted 2 yes votes from Zoom, correct? In the original count,
I think you said one.
I had 2 yes votes from Zoom, 1 no.
Let's redo the vote.
Yeah.
Unless the person for motion wants to rescind it.
Point of order, anyone on Zoom, can everyone hear me on Zoom? You're just going to vote by raising your hand when we call for the following vote. So if we call for a yes or no vote, please just raise your hand on Zoom.
Okay. All in favor of removing this bill on the floor today and doing it next week, please raise your placard.
That's 1 second.
And anybody on Zoom?
That's 4 on Zoom. Or yeah, that's 5 on Zoom. Yes. Sorry, just 4 when you changed.
All right, the yeas are 16, all opposed. Please raise your placard.
Point of order. Their point of information. Was that 4 hands up?
Yes, that is correct. 4 hands.
So shouldn't that be 18?
Yeah, that's concluded in the 16.
Wasn't it 18? There were 14 in here.
There were 13 in the chambers and 4 on the Zoom. So that's 17. Yeah, if you're opposed, please keep your.
2 on Zoom.
14 against. All right, a vote of no abstaining. On a vote of 17 to 14 to 0, Bill 5105 Plaqueville will not be addressed today. Is there any other discussion, debate, or any further motions? Senator Sandoval, Chair recognizes you for 5 minutes.
I would just like to point out that because this was sent late, it was not sent from the front desk, therefore the agenda and the bills did not go to our constituents.
This is because the agenda was technically never approved, therefore the bills were never approved. So therefore it was not, there was a possibility that we would not have been able to address anything on the agenda tonight. That is why it was not sent. We cannot send it unless it's been approved. Bills as of right now have not, we don't have agenda as of right now. Therefore we have no bills. Okay, any other
Point of information.
point of information?
Are we in discussion and debate?
We are in discussion and debate. Senator Silverheart, do you wish to have my 5 minutes?
No. Wait, so
Chair Welch, Chair recognizes you for 5 minutes.
So are we still doing the thing where we're removing or adding stuff, or are we on a different thing?
we can have discussion debate and I will, and with that, you can motion to like remove or add changes.
Okay, then. I motion to remove resolution 5106 dedicated to access because it did not go to conference committee.
Motion's been made to remove bill or resolution 5106.
Second.
So seconded, all in favor, please say aye. All opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it. Parliamentarian, please strike. It's in the record.
Can I don't have my placard, Kyle. Well, can I just yield it? Oh, is it? Yes. Let's see. I'm asking.
Parliamentarian Hunter, Chair recognizes you for 5 minutes.
Okay, I just wanted to make a quick point. And I need to credit Chair Athey for asking me to make this point in her absence. But so because all of these were sent after the 48-hour mark and just not in an accessible way, they all missed the deadline to hit the floor. So any bills that we see tonight will have to be read out fully. So the whole bill will have to be read. Let's see. Yeah, so they'll all have to be read word for word. She wanted me to say that the dedication to access resolution is being seen on the floor for the first time, and it hasn't passed yet, but we're again at a missing point for accessibility. But yeah, all 4 of these documents, well, the 2 remaining will have to be read out in their entirety because they weren't sent out. So that's something to consider when considering having these on the agenda tonight. But yeah, I yield my time.
Senator Silverheart, recognizes you for 5 minutes.
Thank you. Can the Senate body get a clear explanation as to why the agenda has been being sent out so late? Because this not only affects us in our time on Wednesday nights, but it affects all of our constituents if we're not able to get bills and resolutions passed that help the student body.
As I said, as of right now, still, we do not have an agenda. We do not have any bills on the floor because, so first of all, when the agenda is made along with all these bills, it must be passed unanimously among the Senate magistrate, which is all the chairs of the committee, the speaker, and all the officers. If even one votes no on it, which we had 2 voted no, then it's not passed at all, and there is no agenda. There is no bills on the floor. There's nothing. So then it has to go to the Senate. And if it were to be sent out, then that'd be kind of like lying, since it's not really technically as of that not going to happen. That's why it was not sent out. Does that clarify your point?
Somewhat. I have further questions. Is there anywhere where this kind of process is laid out, whether that be the Constitution, Senate bylaws, or such?
I'm going to yield to Chair Athey on this.
Or parliamentary.
Or parliamentarian.
Parliamentarian Hunter knows. I'm not sure.
Yeah. This is all laid out in our bylaws. So this process it's pretty standard the way that we're doing it. Well, it's not really, but it's laid out in the bylaws.
Has this been the problem in weeks prior as well as to the Senate magistrate not voting yes unanimously, or is that a separate problem that is occurring?
This is for my time so far as speaker, every agenda that's been passed has had a yes vote unanimously. So this is the first time it's come up in this term.
I yield my time.
Senator Piper, I recognize you for 5 minutes.
And again, I guess this is also kind of clarification. The Senate magistrate, is it a one-time unanimous vote and then it must be passed by the Senate? Or is it something that y'all have, if it was sent out early enough and debated, this could have been gone through multiple times to make sure that we have an agenda for the day? I don't understand. I'm asking.
So the agenda is created the week on Friday. It's sent to the Senate magistrate on Friday. We said it. Then any changes that the magistrate makes is on Saturday. Then we open the voting on Saturday, and it goes to Sunday, and we have until, or sorry, we open the voting on Sunday and it goes to Monday, which the Senate magistrate, there's 9 of us, will vote. All 9 have to vote yes for the Senate to go on the floor. And once it does, it just goes on the floor like that, all the bills and resolutions. If it doesn't, then there is no agenda and it has to go to the Senate for a vote. Does that make sense?
Okay, just following up, it's one time Senate magistrate vote and then it's the floor.
Yes.
Okay, got it. Thanks.
Senator Sandoval, Chair recommends you for 5 minutes.
I would like to go back to what Senator Silverheart was saying. I think what, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think what they were asking was because the agenda is constantly being sent out late throughout our entire time since the semester had started, which Chair Igby has pointed out multiple times. I think Senator Silverheart was asking why it was sent out. It is sent out constantly late. I believe that's what they were asking. So I would just like to have some clarification as to if there is this process, like you lay out and like you say there is, why is it that it cannot be sent out in time for the agenda sent out in time for the weekly email from the front desk?
I'm going to yield to Parliamentarian Hunter for this.
So throughout the semester, we've been trying to find kind of what the most efficient way to pass the agenda is with minimal work for people on the weekends. Obviously, we don't want to ask people to work on the weekends, but there's some level of work that has to happen on the weekends. So this week we had a discussion about it. The legislative, and I misspoke earlier, the legislative bylaws kind of lay out the process in which this goes through. But in previous years, this is kind of the standard for how we've done legislation, and how the agenda has been set up is that, you know, there's some partial work that happens over the weekend. As of right now, that's about as far as I can speak as far as the procedure. I'm not too sure myself why it hasn't been functional this semester.
And I do understand that you do want to have minimal work on the weekends because, you know, we are students. We do have other things that we need to get done, like with our schoolwork, and I totally understand that. The only point that I'm trying to make is that the legislative cabinet was elected by the Senate body, and it hasn't really done the job to support the Senate body. The prime example is the fact that the agenda is being sent out so late, and because it's sent out late, those who are needing extra accessibility cannot get that done. And, you know, we're sitting here essentially wasting time reading out every single bill word for word from top to bottom. And I don't know about y'all, but I have other things to do than to sit and read a bill out because it has not been sent out in a correct, or I guess the correct time frame.
Yeah, absolutely. And weekends are definitely not an excuse, especially because it is in our job descriptions to work on the weekends for some of this stuff. I totally hear what you're saying.
Thank you. I yield.
Senator Anthony, Chair recognizes you for 5 minutes. Oh, I'm sorry, wrong order. Senator Correa, the Chair recognizes you for 5 minutes.
So is the Senate entitled to know why there were 2 no votes?
Would you like to be yielded to Chair Osterhout?
Yes, I'd like to yield to Chair Osterhout.
Yeah, thank you. So hey y'all, it's me, Lizzie. She, her, series pronouns. I was one of the few who did vote no on the agenda because there was some just incorrect things that were written on the agenda, like some typos and just some like little mishaps, and we don't want to send a wrong agenda out to our whole mailing list, so that's why I voted no. I yield back to Senator.
So does this agenda have the same typos in it, or is this fine? So this one's fine. Okay, so then can I motion to previous question and motion for a vote to approve the agenda?
A motion has been made for previous questions and seconded. It's not seconded, so therefore that motion fails.
Point of order, it was seconded on Zoom.
Sorry, I did not hear that. It's been seconded. All in favor, please say aye. All opposed, please say nay. Nays have it. We will continue discussion and debate.
Okay, then if I could ask the Senate, what seems to be the problem with the current agenda? Now, I get it that it has been sent late, or to be honest, not sent at all, since we don't have an agenda. And you're not supposed to send it out in the first place, given the fact we don't not have an agenda. So what issues does the Senate have right now, given the fact that if we do not vote on the agenda right now, we won't have anything to do, just go home, I guess. So why not vote on it instead? Because we're going to have it anyway, and then have a discussion on it right now.
Okay.
To Chair Osterhout.
Chair Osterhout?
Is it, am I like yielded to? Like,
Yeah,
what is it? Okay,
You've been yielded to, yeah.
cool, thank you. So the reason, again, why I'm very open, why I'm voting no is quite honestly because the plaque bill is not on the agenda. I understand it's a large and like hardworking topic, but it's important and it needs to get done tonight so it can be sent to committee this week. And if we put it off, this problem will just like keep snowballing and we won't fix it. So that's why I'm voting no, because it's not on the agenda.
Point of information.
Point of information from Senator Silverheart.
There's no way for us to reverse the vote from earlier.
There is. You can reverse it, but that will be a 2/3 to reverse that motion. You can say I reverse the motion, but if you do that, it requires a 2/3 to reverse that previous motion. Does that make sense? I believe it's on your placard. It would be.
Let's see, what?
You can reverse the motion. Yes, you can reverse the motion with the 2/3.
Point of clarification.
Yes. Yes. Point of clarification, Senator.
For the plaque bill, Bill 5105, if we do not happen to pass that tonight, Senate is in danger of losing spending power for the rest of the year, depending on how much debt we go into. We are in danger of going into debt. Senate leadership is. And so with that, if the outstanding costs bounce this week, Senate will be in danger of losing spending power. So that is something that we need to take into consideration to better serve the students here at Colorado State.
Also, actually, not just all of Senate, but most likely all of ASCSU. So this is Advisor Schultz. I'm gonna, because Advisor Schultz knows a lot of the information. I'll yield to her.
Okay, so currently there is not a rush to pass the plaque bill. We have not received the bill for it. And it will not endanger the spending of ASCSU. It has just frozen the spending of Senate leadership directly.
So to clarify, we are in no danger of losing our ASCSU is losing our funding if we don't pay it back. Is that correct?
ASCSU as a whole, no. Only Senate leadership. I pass it back to whoever.
My apologies. I was a mistake, but yeah, who is the one who made the motion?
So yeah, it was me, and I'd like to yield to whoever would want to give a proper explanation as to why they don't want to approve the agenda. If there's anyone who doesn't want to approve the agenda.
All right.
I would like to yield to Senator Sandoval.
Senator Sandoval.
I can't speak for all of Senate, but I can speak for myself as to why I do not want to approve this agenda. And that is because, like I said, it was sent out late. As Speaker Hill had mentioned, there technically is no agenda. So there's really no reason for us to be here other than to approve said non-existent agenda at the moment. And the only reason why I say non-existent is because Speaker Hill said himself that it is not there. There is no agenda, there is no bills. Also, because we It's already 7 o'clock. We spent a half hour discussing this. And again, I don't know about you guys, I'm sorry, you all, but I don't want to sit here and read out every single bill from top to bottom because it was not sent out in a proper fashion. I yield back.
I'd like to make a point of information that actually I just been informed that we cannot overturn motions. Finish the vote. Okay. Quorum.
I would like to yield back
Okay, yield back to,
the chair, speaker.
okay. All right, is there any other member who wishes, Senator Anthony, recognize you for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Just got a point of clarification for everybody, and parliamentary Hunter, please correct me if I'm wrong. I pulled up the bylaws just to see what is written as far as the agenda goes. And in Rule 6 of the bylaws, it gives a very clear-cut layout of how the agenda is supposed to be laid out, but there's not any timing criteria in the bylaws for the agenda. The only timing criteria that I've seen so far is for new legislation that wants to be on the agenda, and in which case you can refer to a little bit higher up in the bylaws, in which it states that it has to be submitted by, give me just a sec, it states it has to be in by 11:59 of the Friday previous in order to be properly addressed by Senate legislation.
Do you wish to yield? Chief Justice, do you wish to yield to Chief Justice?
I do.
Okay.
Sorry, I do have a point of information. It is 48 hours as per the Constitution.
Perfect. So in the Constitution, it says that. In the bylaws, there's no clear cut right now that. So in the Constitution, yes, but in the bylaws, no, just for general information across the board. I yield to Senator Silver.
Just a
If you're done speaking, you can.
point of information.
Yes, point of information.
Was that 48 hours or what was that 48 hours regarding? I was a little confused by that.
So any documents or like agendas or anything that you're doing like an official capacity does need to be sent out 48 hours for accessibility concerns, and Constitution does trump that.
Another point of information, if you want to stay right there. But to your knowledge, there is no information about timelines for getting that agenda approved and sent to the front desk.
No, there are no bylaws for it being sent to front desk aside from the fact that it says 11:59 on Friday.
Regarding legislation.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Does that help?
Yes.
Okay.
I yield to parliamentary Hunter if you
Yeah.
got something to say. Sorry.
Yeah, just to add on to that, very loosely, the Senate leadership bylaws kind of lay out a process for us to get legislation or to get the agenda sent out on Monday. So very loosely is that explained in the Senate leadership bylaws, but it's not explicitly laid out, which is why we've kind of had this unstable process this semester.
Senator Silverheart, you've already spoken, so you will be on.
Point of information.
Okay, just a reminder, point of information cannot be used for discussion debate. It has to be quick point of information.
Okay, where in the bylaws does it say that?
Let's see.
Parliamentarian, sorry.
I'm trying to find out right now. We have about 10 more minutes.
We have 10 minutes discussion debate on this before we go to a vote. Associate Senator Reeves, sure. For what purposes do you seek recognition?
Okay.
We have already someone is being yielded to, so this has to be a point of information, order, or personal privilege.
Okay, then I yield.
What are we waiting?
For you.
Oh, wait. Oh, sorry. Wait. Let's see. Sorry. Yeah, so in the bylaws, under section 4, legislative authority, it basically just, it talks about the cabinet's power to curate the agenda. And legislation going onto the agenda. And yeah, it says, let's see. Yeah, that's about it. It basically the legislative cabinet bylaws only are stating that we will add items to the agenda, but it doesn't lay out an explicit process.
1 second. Do you wish to yield back? You yield? I believe your time is done. 5 minutes.
I yield, yeah.
Okay. Senator Laffey?
I have a point of personal privilege. Could you read the applicable, could you quote rather the applicable sections of the bylaws?
Parliamentarian.
Yeah, let me go to the specific section. Yeah, so in section 4, subsection E, it says the cabinet will have the authority to add items to the agenda after 5 p.m. deadline outlined in the Senate bylaws by unanimous vote of the cabinet, as long as it conforms to every other deadline. And that's about all it says regarding agenda, the agenda process.
Point of privilege, I would like to point out that the process is being fixed as we pass our new bylaws.
Yep.
That was not a point of personal privilege, or was a point of information, just so you know. Sorry, a point of order, that was a point of order. Never mind, it's a point of information. Okay, all right, Senator, you have, I believe, Senator Byrd.
Motion to end discussion and debate.
Motion has been made to end or move the previous question. Or move, okay, we're gonna motion to end the discussion debate. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, please turn off your mics and say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. Okay, we're gonna go to a vote to approve this agenda. If we vote yes on this agenda, we can go through the agenda. If it's vote no, then we're done, we go home. All right. All in favor?
Can I make a motion?
You cannot make a motion has already been made, so you cannot make a motion within a motion.
Finished, correct?
If it's a proceeding motion,
Is it a proceeding motion?
Is it a what?
A proceeding motion.
let him make the motion.
What motion do you have?
I motion to only do executive, judicial, senator, and legislative reports tonight and remove confidence business from the agenda.
So
For some of the statements that Senator Sandoval said that I agree.
I don't think we can.
I cannot entertain that motion. I'm sorry, a motion has already been made in discussion debate. Therefore, we cannot do any more. We're going, and it's already, the motion to end discussion debate has already been passed. So therefore, Senator is not recognized. Okay, we will now make, we're now going to.
Point of order. The motion to end discussion and debate was made, but we didn't officially move into the vote yet. So a motion to amend how we're voting can still pass.
Let's vote on the initial motion first, and we can do that. Do we? In the discussion and debate? Do we, I believe we go to voting. So,
Let's see. Point of order, was a motion of previous question just passed?
a motion for ending the discussion debate was just passed.
Was a motion to move to previous question just passed?
No.
Okay. So then we can still make motions during this time.
Okay, you may say your motion.
I motion to remove confidence business from the agenda.
The motion's been made to remove confidence business. Is it seconded?
Second.
All right, if all in favor, please hold your placards high. Um, On Zoom, if you wish to remove confidence business from the agenda, you can do so. Please raise your hand on Zoom.
There's two.
All opposed? On Zoom, all opposed, please raise your hand.
Zero.
All abstaining, please raise your placards. On a motion of 26 to 1 to 0, confidence.
One abstention.
Sorry, on a motion of 26 to 1 to 1, confidence business will be removed from the agenda. Okay. With that, if there isn't any more motions, we're going to vote on the agenda. Okay. All in favor?
Yep.
As the agenda is stated right now, all in favor of approving the agenda, please raise your placards.
Three on Zoom.
All opposed to passing the agenda, please raise your placards.
Say it. On Zoom, all opposed. Zero. What?
How many opposed?
Zero. Zero.
Please raise your placards again for those opposed. Okay, 4. All abstaining, please raise your placards.
Zero.
On a vote of 20, 4 to 0, we will continue with our agenda. All right. With that, the 11th session of the Associate Students of Colorado State University will now come to order. Okay. We will now read the land acknowledgement. Parliamentarian clerk, please pull the land acknowledgement. Parliamentarian Hunter, please pull the land acknowledgement on the screen. Thank you. Colorado State University acknowledges, excuse me, with respect, the land we are on today is the traditional and ancestral homeland for the Arapaho, Cheyenne, and Ute nations and peoples. This rural was also a site of trade, gathering, and healing for numerous other native tribes. We recognize indigenous peoples, the original stewards of this land, and all the relatives within it. As these words of acknowledgement are spoken and heard, the ties nations have to other traditions and homelands are renewed and reaffirmed. CSU was founded as a land grant institution, and we accept that our mission must encompass access to education and inclusion, and significantly that our founding came at a dire cost to Native nations and peoples whose land this university was built upon. This acknowledgement is the education and inclusion we must practice in recognizing our institutional history, responsibility, and commitment. All right. With that, we will now begin our opening roll call. If you hear your name, please, for what purposes is the Center seek recognition?
Point of order, we skipped the Pledge of Allegiance on the agenda.
All right, thank you for that. I was missing on the agenda. I have it here. I don't know why. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Sorry about that, y'all. Seem to be missing from the agenda. Or
Yeah, you're totally.
We will now do our swearing in of senators and associate senators. Is there any senator, associate senator needing to be sworn in? All right, seeing none, we'll begin our beginning roll call. Starting, if you hear your name, please say present. Clerk will call the roll.
Senator Silverheart,
Present.
Senator Sandoval,
Present.
Senator Shepherd,
Present.
Senator Baum,
Present.
Senator Deason,
Present.
Senator Nyberg,
Present.
Senator Brown,
Present.
Senator Shield,
Present.
Senator Python,
Present.
Senator Moshe,
On Zoom.
Senator May,
Present.
Senator Rosales Garcia,
On Zoom.
and Senator Long,
On Zoom.
Senator Tennyson,
On Zoom.
Senator Motor,
On Zoom.
Senator Mumford,
Present.
Senator Bilodeau,
Present.
Senator Laffey,
Present.
Senator Trout,
Present.
Farmer,
Present.
Senator Cardosetto,
Present.
Associate Senator DeCosta, Associate Senator Tefera, Associate Senator Quintana,
Here.
Associate Senator Reeves,
Present.
Associate Senator Patterson, Associate Senator Davis, Speaker of the Senate held,
Present.
Speaker Pro Tempore Jenkins,
She is excused. She will be back later.
Parliamentarian Hunter,
Present.
Chair Athey,
On Zoom.
Chair Welch,
Present.
Chair Osterhout, Present. Chair Morgan,
Present.
Senator Ritter,
It's Chair Ritter
and
and
Chair.
Present.
Sorry, I don't have the updated one, so I'm missing a lot of names. So
Is there any senator, associate senator whose name has not been called yet?
there's a lot.
I don't know if you guys said mine. I didn't hear it though.
Everyone on Zoom is accounted for.
Okay, thank you.
Please keep your records. Please add Senator Burge, call the business. Senator Correa, Senator Anthony, Senator Chulis. Can you put the clock down? Anyone else who has not been called, who have not called yet? Okay. All right, with that, we will now begin our consent agenda. Is there any dissent to our consent agenda from last week's minutes? None. We will now begin our guest speaker, Parliamentarian Hunter.
Awesome. Thanks, y'all. Let me pull this up really quick. I'm going to keep this pretty short. Both of these were included in the weekly email, and these two slides or these two PowerPoints are going to be really helpful for you as your term goes on as senators, and whether it's writing legislation or being in the actual chambers here, these are going to be really helpful. So I'm just going to kind of do a pretty relatively quick overview just to respect everyone's time. Let's see. So we're going to start with Robert's Rules of Order. Is it okay if I'm sitting down? Is everyone okay with that? Okay, awesome. So we're gonna start with Robert's Rules of Order. How many of y'all were here the first time I presented on Robert's Rules of Order? Okay, so like not that many people, but that's okay. So for some of y'all, this is gonna be a refresher, but for most of y'all, hopefully get a little understanding of the procedure we use in this space.
I forgot to say you have 30 minutes.
Okay. So we're gonna go over definitions. Germane, the rule that stipulates if something is pertinent to discussion. Quorum, the minimum number of senators who must be present to conduct business. Second, the second person to agree on a motion needed to move the motion forward. Secondary motion, any motion that is being made while the main motion is being discussed. Meeting minutes, notes from the previous meeting, from the previous session, aka the consent agenda. So all of these are pretty pertinent to motions that are going to pertain to moving our meeting forward, and then obviously meeting minutes are the meeting minutes and action that was taken in the last Senate session. More definitions: confidence business. Anything the Senate leadership believes will receive unanimous consent. We had a bill a few weeks ago that was in confidence business, but was taken out. Any legislation that has seen very little argument or discussion. Ratification, we've all seen the ratification process by now, but it's basically anything, any nominee that occurs from the president, VP, cabinet, for SFRB, BSOF, or Supreme Court, they'll come in front of the Senate, answer questions, go through the ratification process. Voting members is basically any senator. Abstain is choosing to not vote on a measure, maintaining neutrality. And then ex officio members, you may have heard this word before. These are members with floor rights, but not voting power in the space. So any cabinet members, Supreme Court justices, there's a select few people who have ex officio status that have floor rights, can come down and talk, but do not have voting rights. So motion, we've all seen the motion happen in this Senate meeting alone. It's a formal proposal by a member in a meeting to take a certain action. So to make a motion, you're going to say, I move, or I rise to make a motion. It must be directed at the chair, and it must be seconded by another member. Seconding doesn't really mean that you agree with the motion or endorse it. It just means that you want to see this motion proceed in space. And motions may be amended or not supported, but there can't be more than 3 motions on the floor at once. And then making an amendment on the floor, modifying the wording and within limits, often the meaning of the main motion. So if there's a motion that, you want to see proceed in this space, but you have certain issue with certain subject it's pertaining to, or just really anything about the motion, you can make an amendment, must be seconded and must be voted upon. And a vote on the amendment does not mean the motion will be adopted, only whether the wording in the main motion will change. So after an amendment is passed, the motion will still need to be voted upon as a whole. Even if you agree with the amendment, but not the motion, that's totally okay. Debate, we've just had discussion on the merits of the question. This is whether the proposed action should be taken or not. So I'm not going to go too deep into this because we just saw a debate happen. Each person can only speak twice for up to 10 minutes. And immediately after stating the question, the chair will turn to the person that made the motion to speak first. So we just saw this as well as yielding. It's pretty important. If you have a question, you don't know where to direct it to, or really anytime you want to delegate your speaking time to another person, you may yield your time to any member on the room. Debate continued. The chair will create a speaking list. Kyle had a speaking list up here earlier. A motion can be made to extend discussion and debate, totally fine. And then a Senate member can yield to a member of the gallery or another Senate member to respond or have speaking time. So you can yield to anyone during your speaking time and debate. For ending debate, I'm pretty sure we just watched this happen. So I'm not going to explain this, but it is in the PowerPoint that was sent out with the
brokers and plan ambassadors who can sort of take a set of questions that you're trying to get feedback on and bring it into their own community their family, their friends, their workplace.
Sorry about that. All right, debate the issue, not the person. This is a really big point. Ad hominem. These are really in our space. We want to direct all of our motions and points and discussion towards the chair. The chair is there to facilitate a safe environment, especially safe and healthy environment for debate. And so we want to avoid personal attacks. We want to talk professionally as a college representative. Remember, you're representing your constituency here. And we want to keep things germane, stick to the subject. So we want to avoid negative phrases as well. There's a few examples on here, but really we just want to create a healthy space for debate. And that really is best achieved by going through the chair. All right, and that's all I have for this first one. I'm going to move to the second one real quick. And so this one has a lot to do with bill writing, which also, if you have any questions about bill writing, you can email me, ASCSU parliamentarian, and I can go over with you in more detail about bill writing. But we're going to go over a quick overview real quick. And again, all of these were sent out in the front desk email, so you can find these after. All right, how to write a bill. All right. The difference between a bill, resolution, and lex, we've kind of talked about this a little bit, but it's important to define. Bills shall deal with appropriation, constitutional amendments, or other legislation which, when enacted, shall have a binding effect on ASCSU operations. So typically, you're going to find bills include money. A resolution shall deal with the opinions of Senate and the adoption of bylaws. So typically resolutions are a little bit more internal and usually don't include money. And then a lex, and plural, that's leges. This shall be used when both a bill and a resolution are necessary and shall have powers of both a bill and resolution. This usually deals with changes to the ASCSU governing documents. A legislation must have sponsorships and endorsements, and the qualifying members that can sponsor is 3 senators or associate senators, 3 people with floor rights. It can also include 1 ASCSU internal committee, the board for student organization funding, the student fee review board, and the legislative cabinet. Sponsorship versus endorsement. A sponsorship basically just says that you want this piece of legislation to be read, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to support this piece of legislation. Endorsement is an explicit support of the legislation. Whereas in therefore clauses, if you look when there's a bill template on the website right now, and if you look at that template, you'll see whereas and therefore clauses. These are laid out, kind of explained in the bill template. So I'd recommend checking that out on the website. But the whereas clauses deal with statements or fact of clarification within the bill. And then the therefore is statements of intent or action. And again, those are a little bit on the slide here, has the definitions laid out in the bill template, but I recommend going and checking that out later. Who receives legislation? So oftentimes when we have legislation on the floor, you can go to the bottom and you see a whole list of names of people who are receiving the legislation. This includes Joyce McConnell, ASCSU president, CSU chancellor Tony Frank, and any other relevant parties. So this kind of changes legislation to legislation, and yes. All right, and finally, this is the life of the bill. We've had minimal legislation come all the way through so far this year, but it's proposed, it receives a first reading, and then is sent to committee. After committee, all the changes go to a conference committee, and then it will receive a second reading. And if it's a lex, it receives a third reading. So I'm open to any questions y'all have, if y'all have any for me right now, but you can also email me, ASCSU parliamentarian. If you go to the website, you can go down and you can find a link to my email. If you have any questions after too, totally come up to me. And I believe that is all I have.
Okay, I'm gonna open for 10 minutes of Q&A, starting with the first placard. Please raise your placard if you have a question.
EL.
Senator Martyr, to recognize you for 5 minutes. for your speech.
Thank you. I just point of interest. I wanted to know how many lex bills and resolutions we passed this semester. If there is a record of that. Thank you.
Yeah, there is. I don't have this specific number in my like. I'm wanting to say it's around 2 or 3 that we passed fully. And there's only been one so far that has been signed by the president. If that answers your question, but I can also find that later.
Yeah, and I would be interested to know which one already have been passed and signed. Thank you.
You may stay there, just you can't interrupt me. If you have a point of order information or a personal privilege, you can interrupt the speaker.
Okay, point of order, it's on the website. If you go into legislative tracker, you can see all the bills, X's, and resolutions, and you can see what process they're in. They're on the ASCSU website. And if you have any other more troubles, just text me and I'll walk you through it.
Thank you. I believe that was just clarification of point of information, not a point of order.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Senator Martyr, you're still yielded to.
Yeah, I did. Thank you.
Senator Correa.
Is there a time limit for how long a bill or a resolution can stay in committee?
Not really. It usually at a certain point it'll be tabled in committee, but if it's not going to leave committee, but usually committees, if they're not actively working on it, it's on the agenda to get to that piece of legislation. So no.
So is there a process in which the Senate can bring back a bill or a resolution from a committee if they're not acting on it?
It has to be discharged by the committee for it to leave the committee. So for
Point of order, that's not true. The Senate as a whole can move to discharge a piece of legislation from a committee.
right, it can be discharged from the committee, but it has to be discharged from the committee. But so you can vote on that. Yeah.
Do we have any bylaws that keep committees accountable or anything in general that keep committees accountable? I'd like you to Trevor.
So committees are supposed to have bylaws, and I'll happily send out my bylaws, and that's how we're in check. So I will happily send out my bylaws myself in the group chats, and then also send out the weekly email next week. But yes, there are bylaws for us.
Yeah.
I yield my time. Back to you.
So given the fact that we don't have the bylaws for the 51st Senate hasn't been passed, to the bylaws of the 50th Senate, is it still applicable?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. That's all. I yield back.
Chair Waltz?
No, I yield back to the chair.
Oh, no, but I still have you on the speakers list. You wish to speak.
I yield my time then to you.
Okay. Officer Torres Doxy? You had your five up. All right, that's all on the speakers list. Is there any senator, associate senator, or a member who I missed? All right, seeing none. I'm gonna end Q&A. Okay, that's all for guest presentations. Guest speakers, gallery input. Open the floor, open 10 minutes of gallery input. Seeing none. Executive reports. Is there any member of the
Point of order.
point of order?
And just from looking through, given the fact that we did not do an opening roll call, even to go through today's,
we did do an opening roll call.
Not before we started voting on today's agenda. How is what we did legal?
Parliamentarian Hunter, would you like to answer that?
It's not technically. We had a yeah, we did not have an agenda to begin. So technically there was no order for our meeting.
Because the logic behind that was because under the agenda, beginning roll calls item 5, because the agenda was non-existent at the time, we didn't have an item 5, so therefore we could not have a beginning roll call. So this is where it gets a little tricky. You see what I'm trying to say?
You know, I'll leave it from here so we can finish the meeting, but even still, this meeting technically should have never happened.
Point of, yes, of order, pending procedures incorrectly. This is to the chair, but senators are supposed to serve, we're supposed to have these meetings. So like, even if there is an agenda, you should still come here, you should still fucking do your job. To the chair, again.
The quorum, you're out of order. This is for your first warning.
Okay, understandable. Point of clarification, Mr. Speaker. I think the point at which Senator Python's getting to is that a call of quorum should have been conducted prior to the roll call to ensure that we had enough voting bodies for any votes moved in Senate.
This is a unique situation. At my time in ASCSU, I've never seen this before. So really, it's just something that, yeah. We'll most likely have to update this in our bylaws for situations like this, but really this is very new. I've been here for 2.5 years so far. I have not seen this yet happen. So yeah, it's very confusing, I know. Okay. Okay. Executive reports. Yes.
Your Vice President, Reggie Brassatic, is going to share some words and then I'll jump in.
Just really quick, sorry. United Men of Color is still doing a ram ride opportunity this Friday. No worries. This Friday from 8 p.m. to 3:30 a.m. if you haven't volunteered before. So just please let me know. They're still looking for volunteers. It's going to be this Friday. That's it.
President Dixon, recognize your attendance.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Good to see you all. Hopefully you've had a good week so far. I had a really good conversation with Matt Drassner, who works with the housing department, specifically on accessibility, and helped install those touchless actuators at the Braden Hall, if you all have seen those. So instead of the button, you wave your hand in front. I don't know how reliable they are. I haven't heard any specific experiences. If you all have heard from folks within this disabled community that have feelings about them, I'd love to hear that. The reason I mention that is because we're exploring the idea of I'm hoping to see $100,000 proposal to the University Facility Fee Advisory Board to outfit 80 to 90 doors across campus with that technology. And the reason I mention that is because if you've ever seen those handicap buttons, the square ones, not the vertical ones, but the square ones, they have 9-volt batteries in them. And some have AAA batteries. And I didn't realize that, which means it's not a question of if, but when they fail, when they stop working, and how quickly they can address it. And so the beauty about the actuators is that it connects the electrical to the door, which then connects to the building. So the chance of error is far lower when you use that technology. So exploring the options there, doing a run through with some of the team members about options. I will mention this evening at midnight is when the business and community liaison role closes. So hopefully you all have had a chance to apply if you're interested, and or if you could mention it to any folks, that would be amazing. Composting in the LSC is happening again. For those of you that have seen, Adam Vance, our environmental affairs director, has been leading that. So if you all are passionate about environmentalism and sustainability and composting, they ran a pilot program and they're continuing it this year because we have team members to make that happen. So we'd love any support that you all can give. Elijah and I have been talking about the football game on Saturday. I don't know how many of you, quick show of hands, how many of you are thinking about maybe going? Okay, that's pretty good. Nice. Well, I'm planning to drive, so if anyone needs a ride, I'm happy to offer, and hopefully we can get a small crew together to go show support. I'm suspecting it will be cold. I also don't know if my Prius can hold on those roads, but if it does, we'll be all good, and I trust that it will be. But yeah, that's Saturday, 1:30 p.m. And the ROTC, I don't know if you all know about this, the boot run that they do. but they run from CSU campus to the border of Wyoming and Colorado. It's about 42 miles that they run in 10-mile segments. And it's usually cold and drizzly and sometimes snowy. Regardless of the conditions, they're out there running. So they do 10-mile stretches. I'm really interested in that and honestly might try and find a way just to support them. I don't know what that even looks like now, but if you all have interest, let me know. They're running that before the game, the day of. I've been talking with Spin. How many of y'all have seen the Spin scooters and bikes around campus? Yes. How many of y'all have ridden one of them? There you go. So our hope is to have a long-term solution for how those can be considered as a part of transportation. We had 9,000 students ride in 1 week, and 6,000 of those rides were from one point on campus to another point on campus, which tells me loud and clear that students are using it, they need it, they rely on it in a lot of situations. So what I want to know is how can we fund it long-term? And so there are a couple options in consideration right now. We're gonna stock, I believe $10, hoping for 15 into every student's account that can be used in January is our immediate plan. That's a short-term burst just to get energy and activity around it, familiarity, and get folks to download it. And then long-term, I'd love to see a plan like, let's say you didn't want to bring a car on campus and you bought a Spin pass so you could have unlimited rides for that month or for that entire semester. That's a long-term solution I'd like to see where it's matched up against transport and Ram Ride as a critical resource for students. So if you all have any interest on that, please let me know. We met with our Representative Basenecker, Andrew Basenecker. I talked about a lot of things. He's our House District Representative. Some of the things that came up were ranked choice voting, food security, minor and possession laws, childcare facilities. Well, I talked with him about that afterward. All of those he's interested in and curious to work with us. He's also working on a bill to build bike trails alongside power lines. Kind of random, but kind of fun. So anywhere that there's a power line in the state of Colorado, he wants to pass a bill that gives funding for bike trails along that. So there's a lot of equity consideration there and in outdoor recreation and things like that. So we'd love to hear your thoughts on that. I met with Vision Zero as well about the West Elizabeth Corridor project. They're connecting the Foothills campus to CSU Fort Collins. If you all have interest in that subject, please let me know. If you're passionate about transportation and how to reduce transportation issues, that's what they work on with the goal of ending all traffic related deaths. So that's a great group if you want to get connected. And then the graduate students, we met right before this and I'm not going to use the word outrage, but I think a lot of them would. I'll say it, there are a lot of students that are outraged, graduate students, about compensation, about conditions. And all I know is we need to find a solution. They offered a compensation report to the president's office and the provost as well. And as of right now, it hasn't been fulfilled. There was a 3% increase, which many of them argued wasn't even consistent with inflation. So it's not really addressing the concerns that they shared. I think it's critical that we address this. Graduate teaching assistants and research assistants are the engine of this university. I believe that we would cease to operate if we didn't have graduate students. I can actually say that with confidence. We would not operate if we didn't have graduate students. So I am talking with them about ways that we can build awareness for this with the Board of Governors, with the administration. If you all have thoughts on this or want to speak about it, please let me know. That's why I'm here and that's what we're working on. And I can field questions if you all want, but I know it's 7:45, so we're probably ready to wind down for the evening.
With the executive reports, I will not use, there are no questions, Q&A, unless someone makes a motion. But we're going to continue on. If not. All right, judicial reports. Is there any member of the judicial branch wishing to speak? Associate Justice.
Let's see. Can I make a point of personal privilege?
Point of personal privilege?
Yeah. This is for Chair Athey. Chair Athey asked me to make a point of personal privilege for her, just to say, in general in the space, if everyone could avoid using the word disabled, or if everyone could use the word disabled, not handicapped, because handicapped is a derogatory term for disabled people. So that was on behalf of Chair Athey.
Okay, with that, Associate Justice Newhouse, the chair will recognize you for 10 minutes.
All right, good evening, everyone. My name is Associate Justice Todd Newhouse with the Supreme Court. So first and foremost, just wanted to thank everyone who came out to our coffee with the courts last week. I thought it was really fun. I thought Associate Justice Truxell did a really good job with it. So thank you to everyone who came out. Thank you to everyone who came out, showed your support, talked with us, drank some free coffee. I thought it was really cool. She's gonna try to do one more this semester, maybe. I think she's gonna send out some more information on that in the coming weeks. So look out for that. Second big update, excuse me. I'm sure many of you have been aware that we have not had a full Supreme Court for a majority of the semester. So we are working on getting a 7th member of the Supreme Court. We've already conducted some interviews, and interviews are going to continue through tomorrow, I believe. And then I think we should have a new member by next week. So it'll be nice to be back. Well, really for the first time, be at 7 members. So, you know, that will be good. Yeah, if any of y'all have questions, comments, concerns, please feel free to reach out to Aaron via email or stop by any of our office hours, which should be posted on the door. So yeah, thank you. I yield my time.
Is there any other member of the judicial branch wishing to speak? Seeing none, we will now move to our committee reports, starting with budgetary affairs. Chair Osterhout, the chair recognizes you for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
10
Hey,
minutes,
y'all. 10 minutes. I got 10 minutes. Okay. I will not use all of it. Name's Lizzie Osterhout. I used to she, her, series pronouns. And let's see, last week, if you didn't come, you missed out. I hate to guilt trip you. We had an amazing time drawing spooky. We had a little spooky party. Watched a cute little Halloween movie and made some drawings. Check out your peers' drawings. I posted them on the little whiteboard in the back. I don't know, appreciate it. Maybe write a RAM recognition card for the drawings if you like them. I don't know. Put that out there. Let's see. Oh, if y'all didn't notice, I've been putting up flyers in the office because rooms be changing. So please check out the flyer in the office. I believe this week will be in LSC room 300. Check the flyers. They're out there for sure. I posted them around the office. And let's see. There's something else. Oh, regarding the plaque bill, if you all have any questions, concerns, comments, outrages, please come talk to me. I would just like to point out, I was just most recently sent the bill on Friday. So I was unaware of this situation for a hot second while this was going on. So as my vice chair and secretary, we were kept out of the loop for a very hot minute, but I'm caught up now. If y'all have any questions, let me know, or my vice chair, or Secretary Bailey if you're feeling like it. But that's it. Fridays at 3 in LSC room 300. We're going to talk about some great stuff this week. Thank you. I yield my time.
Okay. Internal Affairs, the chair recognizes Chair AP for 10 minutes.
Chair, it can be anyone from Internal Affairs.
Or any member from Internal Affairs.
Hi, I'm Sammy. I'm the vice chair. So in committee last week, we endorsed and discharged the dedication to access resolution, and then we're still working on the job description. So I think we've made it into the Speaker of the Senate job description. So we're making progress. So hopefully it won't be too much longer before that gets discharged.
Okay. University Affairs, the chair recognizes Chair Welch for 10 minutes.
All right, hi everyone, I'm Evan. So in University Affairs, we were able to actually discharge 2 resolutions. 15005 supporting for hunger-free campus funding, and resolution 5106 dedicates to access. Those are 2 we discharged, and those are good. Also, just got University Affairs, like most Senate leadership is always important to talk about what's on here. And so on the Constitution and the bylaws, it does say we have to meet at 6:30 on Wednesday every single day. It actually doesn't mention the agenda, so yes, we do have to be here no matter what. So yes, this is actually, meeting is completely legal, and I yield my time. Thank you.
Okay, we'll move to caucus reports, starting with Chair Morgan for Women's Caucus. Chair recognizes you for 10 minutes.
Hi everyone, sorry, my allergies are taking me. So sorry if you can't understand me. My voice is kind of bad. But hi, I'm Treasurer, she, her, hers. I'm the Women's Caucus Chair, as well as an Associate Senator for the Native American Culture Center. And we have bi-weekly meetings, so we will meet next week at 11 a.m. on Thursday in the conference room. So, come by if you want to have a conversation or something. That's it. I yield.
Chair will recognize the Diversity and Inclusion Caucus Chair, Chair Ritter, for 10 minutes.
Hi, everyone. My name is Mia. I am the chair for the Diversity and Inclusion Caucus, as well as the senator for the Native American Cultural Center. We had caucus last Friday. It was really nice. A good little check-in with everyone. We have bi-weekly meetings, so we won't be meeting this week, but we'll be meeting next week. One last meeting right before break. So I encourage y'all to come, and I encourage y'all to go to Women's Caucus since we can't go to the caucus and all the other committees too. But next week we will have caucus again at 1 p.m. next Friday. So see you there. Adios.
Okay, with that, legislative officer reports, starting with Speaker of the Senate. Hi, everyone. So yeah, I don't have much to say, but other than, excuse me, turn in your clock office hour reports, your Clockify. We're halfway done. We're over halfway done with the semester, almost 3/4. We got this. Make sure keep mental health in your. We're gonna let I know sometimes at this point in time, mental health can be a little challenging to keep. So I encourage everyone, if there's, if you have any problems, you can feel free to if you can't attend a meeting or if you need like a mental health break, I encourage you to use that because we all could use a little bit of support right now in this very stressful time, this semester. So yeah, other than that, the game was well. The football game last weekend was well. Hope everyone attend this weekend. As President Dixon had mentioned, it's going to be a fun time. And I unfortunately cannot attend since I will be down in Houston. But yeah, how it goes. So yeah, so that's about it. The bill that I have on the floor was on the floor, but it was still hopefully next week will be presented by myself and Senator Burt. So with that, I yield to Speaker Pro Tempore. She is not here. I'll go to the parliamentarian. Parliamentarian Hunter, Chair recognizes you for 10 minutes.
Thank you. The only thing I want to include, please check out those PowerPoint presentations. If you have any questions, please email ASCSU parliamentarian. Just something as far as order of procedure tonight. So as Chair Welch said, we do in the Constitution, it says we have to meet at 6:30 every week. So that's something, but the votes that happened before we took roll call, as long as those votes maintained quorum, which we do know from the roll call that we took following, those votes are legal under our space. So the procedure for when we don't have an agenda follows somewhat like this. It was a little disorganized tonight, and I apologize for that. But hopefully the situation won't happen again. But if it does, this is the format for for how we will deal with this. But hopefully in a much better way in the future. Please check out those presentations and email me if you have any questions about anything, not just the presentations. And thank you.
Chair, Chair will recognize Officer Torres Doxey for 10 minutes for recruitment and retention officer.
I have no updates in interest of time as well, so.
Okay, now move to Senator and Associate Senator reports, Adult Learning and Veteran Services. Senator Bilodeau, the chair recognizes you for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Hi, everybody. I'm Samantha, one of 2 senators for ALVS. Our Veterans Week is coming up on November 6th through 13th. So it's just a week where we're celebrating our veteran community here on campus. We have events every single day. I'm not going to, in the interest of time, I'm not going to go through all of them right now, but if you're interested, check out our website or come up and talk to me or Senator Anthony at any point. We'd be thrilled to talk about it. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield.
Okay. All right. Asian Pacific American Cultural Center, chair recognizes Officer Torres Doxey for 5 minutes.
Hi, everyone. APAC is having 2 more Try to Understands. It's just a weekly discussion held on Wednesdays at 5. And our try to understand on the 10th of November, so next week is a ramen party. And if you're interested in going, feel free to go. It's open to everyone. So yeah.
Okay. The chair recognizes Senators Associate Senators from Black African American Cultural Center. Is there any member from the Black African American Cultural Center wishing to speak?
No updates from us, thank you.
Okay. College of Agricultural Sciences, any senator or associate senator wishing to speak? Seeing none. College of Business. Chair recognizes Senator Baum for 5 minutes.
Hi all. So on November 10th and 11th, which is Wednesdays and Thursdays at 6 through 8 p.m. in the LSC Cherokee Ballroom, the College of Business will be hosting the Integrity Forum. This year, we are taking on the theme of local and sustainable businesses and promoting the principles of the Daniels Fund ethics. Pizza will be provided to all who attend, and you will be automatically registered for one of 3 Amazon $50 gift cards with keynote speakers from local entrepreneurs and business owners. But this still applies to the rest of us and the student body, especially since we are the next generation of leaders. The talking points of organizational ethics could definitely help with all of us to create the world we want. So I posted the Integrity Forum link into the GroupMe, ASCSU GroupMe. Please join that. Please spread the word and tell me if you're interested. Thank you.
Okay. College of Health and Human Services. Sciences. Okay, College of Liberal Arts. Senator Laffey.
I'd just like to bring to the Senate's attention the appearance of the Senate to the student body over the last approximate hour and a half. The student body has seen over 40 minutes of debate with regards to whether or not the agenda could even be passed. Later, we even learned that that entire proceeding was quote unquote not legal. Perhaps that part may be mistaken. It is legal. Some say it's not. I'm not quite certain in regards to that. Our constituents have seen the modified agenda was not even properly followed. They've seen at least half a dozen calls of quorum from the chair, further they've even heard profanity from our voting members. Before the entire spending power of ASCSU was threatened, and then had immediately contradicted by our advisor, which obviously was correct. I should say whom was obviously correct. During this entire time, no new legislation was even introduced or actively spoken about to benefit the student body which we serve. I simply like to point out that this is not in the least reflective of the professional, organized body which our constituents deserve, and this situation desperately needs to be rectified in the future. I yield.
Senator Trout, 5 minutes.
Hi, y'all. I'm going to be pushing more events for the University Center of the Arts. So reminders, November 8th, 9th, and 10th, there will be choir performances at 7:30. You can either go in person or live stream tickets. I can drop that information in the ASCSU group chat if that makes life easier for everyone. I will be performing on the November 9th performance. So if you want to support one of your fellow senators, that would be cool. November 10th, another event on November 10th would be the Woodwind aerial recital. The theater department is making a performance of Lysatera. I apologize if I'm pronouncing that wrong. November 11th at 7:30. And on Friday, November 12th, we have a fall dance concert for our dancers. If you could make it to any of those or encourage your constituents to go, the UCA would love to have you guys. And I yield back my time.
All right, College of Natural Sciences. All right, seeing none. College of Veterinary Medicine, Biomedical Sciences. Senator Silverheart, the chair recognizes you for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Speaker Hill. I have quite a bit to say, but I will make it fast. Tomorrow I have a meeting with the academic dean of CVMBS to discuss better support for my direct constituents. I met with someone this previous week to talk about minimum wage for student workers on campus. That bill is very slow moving, but still moving nonetheless. If you are interested in helping, please talk to me or Senator Moshe. Business card bill, I'm still working on a bill to give senators the opportunity to order business cards so they can have better communication or just some sort of existing communication with their constituents. Blood drive is still up in the air. We are currently trying to plan a joint ASCSU pre-medica blood drive for this semester and then get them set up for next semester so we can start donating as much blood as we can and give back to the community. I'm still in the process of forming a task force of sorts to improve accommodations on campus and the rate at which students are receiving these accommodations, in addition to encouraging professors to understand that accommodations are not being received in a timely manner. So hopefully they can help in any way that they can. So if you are interested in working on that, please talk to me or any of the senators from the Student Disability Services Center. You at CSU, I know I mentioned this last week. If you have been using that app and have updates for me, please let me know. It would be greatly appreciated. I know Senator Mumford has been using the app and I greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much. And then lastly, so I guess it wasn't very much to say, but I really urge you all to give reports. This is literally our job, to represent our constituents and bring things to the floor. In my opinion, it is not enough to come to the Senate meetings and just vote yes or no. Even if you just say what you're doing with your 5 hours a week as a senator, make it a minute or two, it would be greatly appreciated. This is our job. This is what we signed up for. This is what students are expecting us to do. In relation to the conflict management training that we just had, I feel like we are still informing and we are 2/3 into the semester. I feel like part of this lack of communication on the Senate floor is part of the reason why we are still in this stage. We are not moving at a pace that is beneficial for students. Next year, we're going to have a whole new round of senators and they're going to have to go through that same forming stage. And I hope they do it faster than we do. I really urge you all to work together and start communicating on behalf of your constituents, as I feel like that would make our organization as ASCSU that much more significant and have that much more power on campus. I agree with Senator Lafty. I do think discussion is good, but this is a discussion about something that should have been organized and should not have happened, in my opinion. So with that, I yield my time. Thank you.
Senator Mumford, Chair recognizes you for 5 minutes.
Alrighty, yes, I'll just keep this short and sweet. Like Senator Silverheart said, I've been working on with the USCSU app and trying to get more education about the mental health resources that we have here at CSU. And I've also been looking into working with the Student Sustainability Coalition about getting community gardens in the dormitories and apartments. So if you want to talk about that, let me know. And yeah, that's about it.
Do you wish to?
Yes, please.
Associate Senator Reeves, the chair
Yes,
recognizes you for 5 minutes.
To echo Senator Silverheart, I think we forget that we're all working towards one goal, and that's to represent everybody who can't be here and doesn't have the opportunity to. So don't forget that we're all working as one team to get something done, because I feel like lots of times we forget that. Okay, thank you.
Okay, El Centro. Senator Carracelo, the chair recognizes you for 5 minutes.
Hi y'all, my name is Kimberly Carracelo Perez. I use she, her, series pronouns. And today was Panamanian Independence Day. I'm Panamanian, so send me $1. We have financial aid office hour drop-ins on the 10th of this month. We have a very lovely rep who works in the Office of Financial Aid and comes into El Centro from time to time to help students with their FAFSA, which opened on the 1st. So please do that, y'all. Please get that government money if you can. And Dia de los Muertos is coming close to an end very soon. And a little tidbit from what I've been doing so far, I am very blessed to be able to speak directly with our director, which I know is sometimes hard for the colleges to be able to get that opportunity to speak directly to someone that high up in whatever SDPS office or college you represent. So I've just been talking with Dora Frias. She is our director for Centro, just about a couple things. We're trying to work on some more mental health resources within the center. And that's all I have.
Okay. All right, First Generation Collective Board. Is there any senator wishing to speak? Senator Sandoval, the chair recognizes you for 5 minutes.
Thank you. And there's only one senator, so there's no need to say any senator. Anyway, I am in communication with the Deputy Director of Academics, and we are actually working together with the Sociology Department on something that was brought to our attention that is called hidden curriculums. Now, what this is essentially, in kind of layman's terms, because I'm still kind of trying to understand it, it is the pressure that first generation students, transfer students face when we start at university. It's kind of this idea of, well, you should have known this, you should have known that, and it is affecting a lot of our community, a lot of our first generation community. Has affected me to the point where I am having to withdraw from classes due to mental health reasons. So we are working on trying to figure out how we can address it, how we can define it a little bit better, as well as what we can do to help our first generation students and transfer students and our adult learners, those who are essentially non-traditional students. First Generation Day is next week on the 8th, I believe. I am not 100% sure on that. And what that is it's to celebrate our first generation population. There will be activities out on the plaza, out there. So come show your support, meet some first gen students, ask your questions about what it's like being a first gen student. And lastly, to echo what Senator Silverhart and Senator Laffey had stated in the past, y'all, we spent 45 minutes debating on this agenda, and that is ridiculous. I hope that we can do better in the future, and I'm not pointing blame at anybody because I understand we are students, we have things come up. But in the future, I do hope and pray that we can do better on that. Thank you, I yield.
Okay, international programs. Chair recognizes Senator Correa for 5 minutes.
Hey all, my name is Ritik Correa, aka Rick. So I, along with Deputy Director Vyas and Director Roslo, are working on a bill that's going to help students with housing security over the break. We plan on allocating some funds, hopefully, to help these students ensure that these students have housing throughout the break and don't face any kinds of situations where they have to compromise on that. I would also like to echo what Senator Laffey and Senator Silverhart said. I don't know how do I put this, but this situation might arise in the future as well if the body that is supposed to approve the agenda says no, if there's even one vote that says no, the same situation is going to arise in the future. So this particularly today wasn't a delay in sending out the agenda because there was no agenda. And I wish the Senate takes that into consideration, that our goal isn't just to follow procedures and the Roberts rules. Our goal is to actually do something. Given the fact that we missed debating and discussing all these resolutions and bills that were supposed to be tabled today, we're going to have to do this next week. And next week, we might have more senators or associate senators or anyone from our university that might want to bring about a resolution or a bill. And this may delay things further. So I know everybody's concerned about time. To be honest, there are, I know I'm going to face a lot of flack for saying this, but there are senators over here that come here with the hopes of leaving by 8:30 and don't come here with the hopes of actually doing something. I know I'm going to face flack for saying this, but I had to say it. So I hope that everybody comes here with the intent of actually passing stuff, doing stuff, or not passing stuff if it's not appropriate, doing their work and not just here for, I don't know, bringing it on your resume or something. Thank you.
All right. With that, I'll recognize any senator or associate senator from the Native American Cultural Center. Chair Ritter, the chair recognizes you for 5 minutes.
Hey everybody. So I just want to talk about a few things. Sorry, I can't talk. So it is November and it is Native American Heritage Month. So we have a couple events coming up this week, and I'm going to talk about a few events coming up next week before Senate, since I won't be able to tell you all any of these things. So tomorrow is our next event, November 4th on Thursday. The CSU Dining Hall's Native American Heritage Month special is having an Indigenous kitchen in the Foundry. Dinner is served from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. Please join us at the Foundry dining hall located in Corbett Hall for a special dining experience. So the meals will be featuring dinner on 11/4. The menu will include things like sumac smoked salt, red turkey breast, Three Sisters rice pilaf, roasted vegetables, pumpkin soup, and huckleberry ice cream. So if y'all are able to go or have any friends that can swipe you in, or if you can just go, it's gonna be really great. And if that doesn't interest you, next week we have on Tuesday on the 9th and 10th is the Aspen Grill in the LSC. So it's a couple of featured Native American dishes like corn, sunflower seeds, potatoes, squash, pumpkins, tomatoes, strawberries, all the good things. So we have that going on next week. I am going to send out a little PDF of the events for this and next week. You can make reservations there, and it'll give you directions from there on out. So I encourage y'all to go. Also, another thing on next week is Wednesday, November 10th. That's when we have Senate. But there's another opportunity to go to this event Thursday, November 11th. Is the Home from School Children of the Carlisle documentary film and panel discussion. So the first one is at the PSB. That is from 6:30 to 7:30. But there's another one on Thursday on the 11th at the Lyric from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. So I will send all that out, and so that you all have access to it. I hope to see you all there, and I think that is all for me.
Chair recognizes Chair Morgan for 5 minutes.
So hi, I just want to add something because people have been commenting. I just want to say that we as a Senate, we need to start working together, but also we shouldn't be diminishing others in terms of their work. Just because they don't show it on paper, because they're not outspoken, doesn't mean that they're not doing anything. Just being in this space for some is tough as it is, and even just saying if you don't speak up or if you're not vocal, then you're not serving your constituents, because that's just diminishing them and it's making them feel like they're not welcomed here. So I just want to keep that in the back of you guys' mind, or y'all's mind, sorry. I just want to put that comment out there. I yield.
Okay. We'll recognize any member from Pride Resource Center. Seeing none. Student Disability Center. Senator Tillis, the chair recognizes you for 5 minutes.
I've got a couple of points of information. First of all, I've been working with the Office of Registrar, who runs RamWeb, and hopefully next week, or maybe even the week after, we're going to add an accessibility tool to RamWeb, so you'll be able to go into RamWeb and look at all the free-to-use accessibility tools that CSU offers. Secondly, I'm hopefully going to have a meeting with a couple specialists tomorrow to look at the accommodation process and seeing how we can speed that up for students. I know it's a serious issue that's going on right now. And then third point of information is that any students with accommodations looking to use the testing center must submit their finals by November 15th at 4:45 p.m. Thank you. I yield.
Okay. Walter Scott Jr., College of Engineering. Senator Piper, the chair recognizes you for 5 minutes.
Hey, all. Hey, just want to kind of let y'all know, there's a couple new RSOs coming out of College Engineering. One is really focused on outreach or STEM outreach for middle school kids, especially middle school girls. So really cool program. It's absolutely incredible what's been done on pretty much a $0 budget. Also, Ram Racing is setting up. They're trying to reorganize, and so we will technically have a race team here at CSU. Also, I'll go back, echo everybody's sentiments. Yes, we need to be better as an organization, myself included, as far as how we work together. But at the same time, we're all working and we just need to respect that.
Deal? Deal? Warner College of Natural Resources. Senator Scherer, the chair Senator Deason, the chair recognizes you for 5 minutes.
Thank you. I just wanted to tell everyone about an awesome meeting we just had in our college council. Fort Collins Recycling and Waste Management came in and gave us a presentation about the specific waste management and what things are recyclable in Fort Collins. CSU recycling is actually very different from Fort Collins recycling. And for a lot of Fort Collins recycling, you can't depend on the number on the plastics. And so they actually have a really cool database where you can look up what you want to recycle, and it can tell you exactly how to recycle it and where to recycle it. It's called their Recycling A to Z database. If you have any questions, please ask me. And then the other thing is the Sustainability Coalition is going on bi-weekly Fridays at 1. Someone correct me if I'm wrong on that. Please come. We want to get as many people in on that as possible. It really just serves as a place for a lot of the people working on sustainability on campus to talk to each other and make sure that we're all on the same page. Thank you. I yield my time.
Okay. All right. Women and Gender Advocacy Center. We will end Senator and Associate Senator reports. We have no conference business, so we're going to go straight to announcements. Okay. Any announcements? Chair Osterhofer. Chair Osterhofer, the chair recognizes you 5 minutes.
Thank you. Quick announcement. It's not necessarily related to next, I didn't say, but I just want to boost the first gen event that Senator Sandoval mentioned. I hate to be the one to toot my own horn, but one of my sisters, who is an alumni, is a keynote speaker there. Chiquita Hazard, so come check her out. Go to that event. Love her. Thank you. I yield.
Chair Welch, chair recognizes you for 5 minutes.
All right, thank you. So first off, I think because of late night and the thing before, we're all probably not in the best mood there, and I understand that. But also we need to remember is that most of the CSU body doesn't firstly think we're a joke. So we really need to work together. And I do apologize that I swore. And if you want to talk to me, I happily will talk to you because we need to talk and we need to get stuff done. We need to figure stuff out so we can finally not be considered a joke anymore. And that's the rest of my announcement.
Okay. All right. Is there any other announcements? Then I'll go. Yeah, it's turning our clock at 5 hours, come to committees. Another drill. And with that, I would like to encourage everybody to, again, I know this has been echoed many times, to work together. I would like to see a Senate body who's more collaborative, more, together, and more just be kind. We can all be kind to one another. I think things would get a lot more done. Not putting blame at anybody. I'm just saying in general, let's all be kind. If there's conflict resolution, try to talk to one another. It's good to talk. It's good to not go behind someone's back and talk to someone else about someone else. So gossiping essentially. So anyways, get home, go home safe, get some sleep. Finals week, well, not finals week. It's almost finals week. It's almost Thanksgiving break. Woohoo! Everyone enjoy themselves, and hope to see you. See y'all later. Come talk to me. My bill. I'm also working on the bike. I forgot to say I'm working on my bike project bill, the bike cameras. I'm going to talk with the Alternative Transportation Fee Advisory Board to get this done. To Mr. Aaron Podge. So hopefully we can get that and split it with Senate. With that, I conclude announcements. Fight song.
Motion to remove the fight song from the agenda.
A motion has been made to remove the fight song from the agenda.
Seconded.
Point of clarification, isn't the fight song in confidence business?
No, it is not.
Point of clarification, we spend way longer actually making the vote than we do on the fight song. Can I move to rescind that motion, just do the fight song?
The motion has already been made, so we're gonna have to vote on it. All in favor, please say aye. All opposed, say nay.
Nay.
Okay, I think the nays have it. All right, ending roll call. I see, okay. All right, clerk, please call roll.
Senator Silverhorn,
Present.
Senator Sandoval,
Present.
Senator Shepherd,
Here.
Senator Baum,
Here.
Senator Jason,
Present.
Senator Nyberg, Senator Brown,
Present.
Senator Shearer,
Present.
Senator Python, Senator Moshe, Senator May, present, Senator Tennyson,
On Zoom.
Senator Rosales Garcia,
On Zoom.
Senator Long,
On Zoom.
Here.
Senator Martyr,
Present.
On Zoom.
present, Senator Bilodeau, Senator Laffey,
Present.
Senator Trout,
Present.
Present.
Senator Cardosetto,
Present.
Senator Tulis,
Present.
Senator Anthony,
Present.
Senator Byrd.
Present.
Associate Senator Farrell,
Present.
Associate Senator Quintana,
Present.
Associate Senator Reeves, present, Associate Senator Patterson, Associate Senator Davis, Speaker of the Senate Hill,
Present.
Speaker Pro Tem Phil Jenkins, Parliamentarian Hunter,
Present.
Chair Apey, Chair Welch,
Present.
Chair Osterhout,
Present.
Chair Morgan,
Present.
and then, is it Senator? Chair Ritter,
Present.
and then Officer Torres.